said, it's like thankfulness, like when you're over there and you see the conditions, you see the happiness people have despite their conditions, you come back home with that same attitude. You're like, man, I'm so grateful for this food and for my house that I get to live in and this car, And we're trying to keep that with our kids because it's easy to lose that too. You come over to the States and you get used to having steak at every meal or whatever it might be. So we remind ourselves, but we also remind our kids. We're like remember when you're in Ethiopia, you only had meat twice a year. Let's not complain that.
Have you talked to Meb at all about it? I mean, he came over. I mean, he wasn't adopted, but he came over. As a 10-year-old or something.
Yeah, we were actually chatting about it on the way over here. We were on the same flight, and he was telling me a little bit more about his experience with it, and especially with the English acquisition and stuff. He was telling me about that, and it's good to hear his journey, and also Gabe Proctor. He was older when he came over here too, and from Ethiopia. So I've gotten to chat with him a little bit, and you can learn.
It's funny because he's got the American name. You don't.
I know. Yeah.
I don't know much of his story. So.
Yeah. We changed our girls' names too because. They just can't even pronounce. Our oldest name is Alimshet, and then Malumabet, and then Ainalem, and then Fikr Kukul are their names. Those are their Ethiopian names. But we gave them a list of names, and again, we always want our kids to feel empowered to have choice. So we gave them a list of names, and we let them choose names. And so now it's Hannah, Mia, Jasmine, and Lily. So
and they picked those names for themselves. Did they balk at that at all?
Not at all, no. They were actually kind of excited about it. And we kind of were telling them, it's not like you're losing your name because we want to keep their
identity. Yeah, they got to maintain that.
Yeah, and we were just explaining to them, this is going to make it easier for you in America. It's going to make it easier for other Americans to be able to know your name.
So what do they call each other? But they go back and forth?
By their American names.
They do American names.
I know that there was a lot of exhilaration when they were, you told them they were going to be adopted, but was there eventually a time when they just kind of man, we're leaving this place and it's changing, because we don't know, about what happened to the parents or anything, but I don't care what, it's still got to be really traumatic, and there's got to be a lot of angst there. So did you have that or see that or deal with that or how did that work out?
I saw a little bit of that, especially with our oldest, and I think that's kind of common. The older ones have a little bit more of a challenge with that.
They're more attached.
Yeah, and so it's actually really hard for them to leave their orphanage because they've been with the staff there for 3 years. These are their family now. So when they're leaving, especially the oldest one, she was crying and super sad, and she was excited about her future, but she was just sad to say goodbye to her friends. And there's times that they do miss Ethiopia, and we play Ethiopian music in the car sometimes, and it's good and bad because it does make them miss home, So we haven't hit a lot of that though, to be honest. They are so excited to be here that there is times that we talk about missing Ethiopia, but.
You plan on going back at some point?
Yeah, we'll definitely go back, and that's why we really want them to retain their Amharic. And I keep telling them, do not, because they're always no more Amharic, only English now. And I'm no, guys, I want you guys to teach me Amharic, and we're all going to keep our Amharic.
Really?
Yeah, because Sarah
and I... Are you learning it? Are you picking up on it? Is it really...
It's really hard, but I learned a lot, or tried to learn a lot, when we were going over there in the initial process. And then I haven't studied a lot since then, but I do want them to teach me because we have a real heart for Ethiopia, and we eventually do want to go back there and do some type of work.
Had they ever seen a plane before?
Only in the sky.
So they had no earthly idea about what to expect or anything like that.
They'd seen some movies, I think that exposed them a little bit. But
they've never been to an airport or heard a jet noise or anything.
No.
And so this was
It's all new.
Can I backtrack to something you said a minute ago when you were talking about Proctor?
Yeah, Gabe.
Can you fill me in a little bit on
I'll have to fill you in on his complete story when he comes in. I forget the exact age he was when he came over, but he was adopted from Ethiopia with his siblings as well. So he's been a good resource for us to talk to about this whole process and what it was like for him to adjust and his whole experience. But yeah, it would be good for you to talk to him about that and get his wole story because I don't remember the exact details of it.
There he is, right there. Speaking good time. How old?
Yeah.
Ryan, how old are you these days?
33.
Because I'm seeing Dina and Abdi on there.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing that they're
It could-
still going. They were like,
I think Dina's like my age. I'm 42, and I'm like,
She's 42.
it's insane.
I don't get it. She ran a 15:25K this year. I'm like, what? Like,
It's unreal. No, I mean these guys are really like ages like Meb, Abdi, Dina. It's like they're amazing.
I didn't realize Abdi had been on 4 Olympic teams. I didn't realize that.
It's crazy.
have you thought how long you want to do it? Keep doing it?
You know, as long as my body allows me, I'm not gonna be someone that hangs on. When I know that my body has had enough, then I will always run and be involved in the running industry, and still always love the sport and stuff. But I'm not gonna be someone that you're gonna see doing this in a not very high level. Like once my body's had enough, and I'm content with all the different things I've tried, and I'm content that there's nothing else there, then I'll stop running competitively.
So your medical stuff, have you figured that out?
No.
You don't really. You still go see specialists, or what? I mean, you just train now. Like you can.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, it's not the fact you're not unhealthy, right? But it's just the training
No.
you can't really do, or what?
Well, so the reason why I'm not overly concerned is because like my testosterone levels have been low ever since I've ever measured it. So I'm pretty confident that I ran 204 with low testosterone. So I'm like, well, it's low, but maybe that's okay for me. I don't know. That's where I'm not even sure if that's what's causing my energy problems or whatnot. But
When you say energy problems, you just don't feel the same when you train. Is that how you describe it?
yeah, some days I'll go out and I'll try and run, and I'll get 15 minutes, half hour into a run, and I literally cannot run anymore. I have to walk back. And it gets really confusing for me, sometimes like what's emotional and what's physical, because I think the two are so related, you get so discouraged when you're out there and just feeling terrible that mentally it starts to wear on you, and I don't know, just haven't been able to totally figure it out. So.
I mean, is it hard because you run 204? But like you go out, I mean, your watch always, if you play basketball or football, you can get back in it, but a watch doesn't lie. So is it hard? I mean, are you always kind of comparing yourself to the past, or even your training runs? Oh, I should be training faster.
Yeah.
Or do you ever just go out and just?
Yeah, that's the things that can really overwhelm you.
Yeah. So that's why I do a lot of my running now in trails and hills, like places where I come alive and just love to run, because I'm not like concerned about my mile splits and stuff. And so the days I feel good, and go run hard in the trails. The day I don't, just do a minimal amount. So yeah, I'm not training like the same way I used to train in the past, where it was very measured, meticulous mile splits. Like, it's still like comparable training, but in a different atmosphere, in different style. So.
I mean, I think that sounds smart to me, especially trying to get back. But
Just have to listen to your body.
yeah, I mean, like not that it's comparable, but
Yeah.
I live in Fort Worth now, and they're like, oh, you should do the marathon. I was like, well, I know what I did. I don't want to train that much, but I'm like, the thought process can be the same. I was like, it was more of a challenge. I'm like, I will train. I didn't time anything. I would wear a watch just to know how far I ran.
Yeah.
I mean, how long, but not.
Time-wise.
But I was like, I just want to see what my body can do.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
But if I was, if I was you and I was really still trying to compete and I wasn't going well, I think that would be the way to do it. But
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And after trying so many times to like do things the way I used to and having it not work, it's like, well, this obviously isn't working. I have to like change what I'm doing, do it in a different way.
There's a lot of people rooting for you, so
Yeah, thanks.
good luck.
I appreciate
And
it.
this family story is amazing.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's been really good. It's been good for me. It's been good for my running too, just to have something else going on. Because when your whole life is all running, that's all you think about, your training, whatever. When it's not going well, it's a real downer.
Do you feel as though, because you just said it helped, has it enhanced the purpose a little bit? I mean, do you look at it as, well, this isn't just me anymore, I've got a family to
Yeah.
take care of and all of that?
Totally, yeah, and I think about them all the time when I'm out training, running, and stuff. So, yeah, they are like that a lot to the motivation part of it. And I think Meb and Dina could also speak to that. Yeah, for sure.
So the kids think Sarah's the big runner in the family?
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Dad's the.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know. He kind of.
he tries. No, we've shown them some videos and stuff like that, so they kind of know like a little bit about our story, but they'll probably learn more as their English develops and stuff.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for that.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.